Welcome to the intuitive talk here about inner peace and how that's related to forgiveness, compassion, expectations, and identity. So I'm going to share with you a personal story of how inner peace, the concept even came into my life, and then I'll share how that desire for inner peace started to teach me about forgiveness and what forgiveness has to do with compassion, and also, as I said there, with identity and expectation, how these two can conflict with actually maintaining or having inner peace. Hope you're ready for that, and I will share it in a way so you can start integrating some of these teachings in your own life right away. So if you're curious about inner peace, this video is for you. Now, if this is the first time you've ever seen me, I'm Brian Jacobson, and it is my purpose to teach and train my mind and everyone else's minds and body to create and to express more of your love, more of your passion, and bring that to life here in the world. Okay, well, let's just get going. I'll start out with inner peace. So inner peace was a concept that came to me, or an idea or a scream from within that came to me during a time where my foundation just was washed away. I was playing poker, living a life where everything was just coming easy, so I thought. But I had a lot of things like coping mechanisms, going partying a lot, taking drugs, and suddenly everything just didn't work anymore. So the whole foundation was shaken, and I started to feel that inner turmoil that I had been putting under the blanket, so to speak, and trying to avoid by doing other things, distract myself. And that came up because the foundation was shattered, right? So suddenly I just, one day, something within me started screaming, hey, I deserve inner peace. It was like that was more familiar to me, or more my inheritance than anything else in the world. Like that was more intimate to me, inner peace, than anything else. And I was like, hey, I want inner peace. That is going to be my number one priority. And in the instant that I asked for that and said that's my priority, and then suddenly I was introduced by friends, by colleagues, and where I was walking, a Course in Miracles. Yeah, so a Course in Miracles just started to come into my life, being shown. You should read this book. You should definitely read this book. It came to me in Danish, it came to me in English, and finally I decided, you know what? Okay, I'll take the course. So I've taken a Course in Miracles 2 times now, both Danish, English, and one more time in English. And A Course in Miracles has a very simple line that says, everything that is real can never be threatened, and everything that is unreal never existed. Herein lies the peace of God. And it said, if you understand that sentence, you don't need to read the entire book. And remind you, the entire book is 1,326 pages. Okay? So you're like, okay, if I can get that, then yeah, I'll definitely just enjoy it. The problem is that when you start reading the book, you're coming from a different perspective of life than what the book is going to teach you. And in that perspective, and you might see that in your own life, you have what is called love and hate relationships, right? So you love someone for a specific thing, but you hate them perhaps maybe for some other things, or in yourself. So A Course in Miracles, why I mention it, is because forgiveness was the only simple thing it taught me. And when I say me, it's as my way of using my mind, because it's actually mind training. So the mind is actually what's causing us not to experience peace, right? It's in our minds that we start to develop concepts which conflicts with our true desire or our true nature. And those concepts starts to come up because we get afraid. Okay, so with inner peace, the idea of forgiveness needed to be practiced to attain inner peace. Now, what is forgiveness then? Forgiveness is a practice where we learn to see everything in the world, everyone in the world, all appearances with a state of acceptance. That it is what it is, and that's it. It has no impact on our state of being, so to speak. Of course, there's emotions and such, we're gonna get into that. So forgiveness is a practice to learn to see everything from a quote-unquote, the Holy Spirit's perspective. Right? So we might see something that's very terrifying to us. We get afraid. The only reason why we get angry or sad or anything is because we believe something has been taken away from us that had value, right? Or that we can be threatened. But as the first sentence says in the Course in Miracles about inner peace is, everything that is real can never be threatened. So when you start with the Course and you start to investigate that foundation of inner peace, because that's pretty much the foundation. It's not like you should have inner peace only when you sit like this, right? It should be you have inner peace in whatever activity you're doing, in whatever experience that you're having. Inner peace should be like in the, you know, the carrier of all experiences to come. So it can never be threatened. That means we have to look into, with forgiveness, all the things we believe to be real, all the demons, all the scarcity, all the things that we thought was keeping us safe, that was bringing us inner peace, actually didn't work. For example, my passion in poker, right? I thought that was what brought me inner peace, brought me joy. And so when I suddenly couldn't play anymore because I lost the money, then my inner peace was disturbed. But look into it, because if you put your foundation of peace upon what your work is, your family, girlfriend, whatever is external to you, even the body, right? Then your inner peace is not really inner peace, it's just a moment of okayness. Okay? So forgiveness starts to investigate all the areas in your mind, all the concepts and ideas in your mind that has not been put correctly to have and experience the inner peace that is available right now. And that leads into the identity part. So usually what is common in the world here is you identify with the body, you have perhaps an image of yourself, and that image you believe is your, right? The body, or how it looks like, or what you're able to do in doings, or your work, or something like that. And it's okay to create an image, but just don't hold on to it as if it's your life. Because that will shake your inner peace, because everything in the world changes. So with forgiveness, we start to take a step back and we learn to see, what is it that I'm bringing right now? What is it that I am expressing right now? Where am I coming from? And as you start to rest with inner peace, joy is a natural response in that place. And the next thing that comes with joy is great compassion. You start to love to see what you look at, because you'd rather learn and teach yourself how to love and give compassion and joy to what you see and experience than not. It just feels better, and you can. So you start to come from a place of spirit. Now, what is spirit? You can't see it, but it's the life force that flows within everything. And it has qualities. It loves everything. It accepts everything as it is. And it's made of love. And love is a unconditional giving force to everything. You can see it in the universe. It has no condition. It's unconditionally accepting there's a planet here, there's a sun here, there's a black hole that sucks in all the suns and crushes worlds and lives and everything. It accepts everything, so it gives the possibility of everything. Same goes with what we are as spirit. It gives itself, all of itself, to have itself. So that's the new identity, right? So the new identity accomplished to start forgiving people is not to say, you are wrong, I'm right. No, it's to say, hey, it's actually okay. The consequence of what you're doing is, if it's a killer or hurting someone, is you actually caused a momentarily experience of sadness within yourself. Might not even be to the one that you killed, they probably had peace right away, no body. But to, and maybe also the ones experiencing that. So there's a cause of a momentary sadness, but nothing more than that. So it's not really powerful to be angry or such. So the spirit sees that, and the spirit knows, hey, I want to give what I have more, what I want to have more of. So to give inner peace, we start to forgive people. Instead of trying to change them or change yourself, you accept what is already. And that's all what forgiveness really is, to accept what is already, knowing that what you give is what you get. And then you start to give your love. Then you start to give your compassion. Because you can give it from a place of abundance, a place of, that's what I want more of, so that's what I'm going to spend all my time being able to give more of. So my identity changed as I went through A Course in Miracles. It changed from being Brian Jacobson into being, hey, I am spirit expressing myself as Brian Jacobson, and I'm also spirit with a purpose, right? My purpose that I found is to teach how to train the mind in order to work for us. So we can get rid of all these fearful imaginations, fearful events that we saw perhaps happen in the past, and now we expect it, and that comes into expectations, right? We expect it to happen to us suddenly, and that we're going to create that. So that's something I saw, hey, that, and it feels better to have that kind of identity, to see I'm here to bring my love, bring my joy, the best I can. And when I relax, I bring peace at the same time. So let's dive into compassion. Can we really give love to someone, compassion to someone, if we don't have a stable foundation? Won't it be just a momentarily enjoyment, but also a kind of secret wish that, hey, I feel comfortable here, so that's why I'm doing it. Instead of actually coming from a place, hey, I can give myself 100%, and I don't even expect anything back. For me personally, I found out that many relationships that I had, both with women, girls, and money, or my poker game, was I was giving energy to it, but I was expecting something back. And if I didn't get that back, then it would not be okay. And I would be in this, now it's working, oh, no, it's not working, I would hate it, right? So it's a love and hate relationship. Same with the body, right? We try to maintain the body's health. We try to really do everything to keep this body going, but we know it's going to go to the grave eventually, right? So that's kind of a love and hate relationship, unless we are in a state of peace and rest. And we know, hey, I can use this tool for what it is for, in expression and communicating. Love, peace, forgiveness, I can also express, and health. And life's expression, I can do that. And I can also have the chance to experience all these variations coming from a place of abundance, inner peace. So identity needs to change in order to start experiencing more inner peace. You have to put your values differently than what they were before. Does that mean that when you have acquired inner peace and you start to experience that more and more in your life, you don't want any money? No, it's not like that. It's not like you want that you can't have relationships, that you can't enjoy what you're doing. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you rest, when you actually are restfully being here, not needing to do anything, don't have to do anything. The choice one make when they don't have to do anything is 100% sure that choice. It comes from a place of a complete acceptance, complete willingness. And so one can go much further when that's the place where you come from. While if you come from a place, oh, I need to do that, otherwise I won't have this, suddenly you will run dry. You will stop in your tracks. There won't be enough energy to go the whole way. And definitely not till the end of time. Inner peace is not a time-limited experience. Inner peace is forever yours when you have seen through the illusions that are not real. Have I seen through all the illusions? No, I still get caught up once in a while. But I'm very quick at noticing when that happens and shift my mind back through the training that I've done. Yeah. So the desire for inner peace, very good one. Keep that one very safe. It's wholly for yourself. Okay. And inner peace helped me to express more of my love. I can love more deeply. I can also let go more easily instead of hanging on to people that's no longer bringing anything. Right? Why should we hang on to something that's no longer beneficial? So, but I can accept that. It's not like I think, okay, he's not giving me what I want, so he's a bad guy. No, it's completely okay. You see. So my mindset with inner peace and forgiveness and compassion started changing, right? It started changing to set people free, accept them for what they are expressing, but knowing they are spirit, knowing that they have same capacity, same ability that I have to experience more love, more compassion. And if anyone comes to me and asks for that, I am like, it's not even a choice any longer. I already committed myself to bring whatever is needed for them to experience and take more of that with them from that moment on. So let's dive a little bit into identity and expectations. So let's say we have an identity that we are a partner, okay? A partner in a relationship. That's great, right? So you have an idea of how a relationship should go. You have an image, you have an expectation of what is a relationship. And if you have not communicated that clearly out, both to yourself, but also to your spouse, your partner, then expectations will start to fall short. Your partner will not do or be in the way that you want them to be. And that brings not a peaceful state, right? When expectations are not met, right, and we are identified with it, we start to be in conflict. So, A Course in Miracles teaches me, at least in the way I was taught, that I need to keep an open mind. So my way of thinking changed. Instead of, before I had images of how a relationship should be, right? Based upon probably how my mom, my dad were living, how I saw other people were doing in their relationship, and some kind of a desire as well. Mixed up desire. And many of them know a relationship have never been the way I expected it to be. And never has. So when I was taught about forgiveness and coming from a place of inner peace and compassion, I dropped my expectations. And I started to set my partner free instead. How's that? So I had no expectations for how they should be, right? I communicated out what I love about a relationship, and then I committed myself, I'm going to bring that to the relationship. I'm going to bring that vulnerability to be honest when things are going really difficult for me, when I can't see clearly what it is I want to do, and also when things are going very well, but I'm sharing everything vulnerably and openly. But if I expected my partner to do the same all the time, well, that's not being open. That is an expectation, and that will actually limit things. But I expect myself, though, to do the best I can to bring my love, my compassion, to water the plants, water the life that I would like that we have together, and do my best for doing so. And that has freed up a lot of energy. It has freed up for me to be myself, continue to be myself in all ways, every way. Good and bad, your judgment or partner's judgment. But it also allows my partner to be as she wants to be. And I've experienced before that could create a lot of conflict with expectations, unless both parties agrees upon it. Then it's an open mutual agreement, and you can hold each other up on it. So it's important just with expectations that we set clear clear directions or clear communication for what it is we would like more of. Let's say you have asked of yourself, or you ask the universe to become a millionaire, right? Okay, that's great. And now you're expecting to get 1 million. Well, did you really think it through, what it means to be a millionaire? Did you think it through what that is required of you to bring to the world, right? Because if you want something, the rule of the spirit is very simple. You want to give to have. Let's just look at Elon Musk, very good example of that. He's giving a lot to the world, so he's just earning a bunch of money and was just recognized as the world's most, the richest man in the world. Well, he's giving everything he can to this world. Electric cars, want to go to Mars, SpaceX, sending people into space. His passion is completely flowing, and he's also failed many times with Solar City and things like that. But he's giving himself 100%. So remember that expectation should be more on what are you willing to give to have. You want peace, inner peace? Well, start giving it to your fellow beings, and instead of judging them, because who are you really judging? Them or yourself? I've noticed sometimes, another example, I've held some yoga classes, and we were going to meditate, and we sat down meditating, and somebody would suddenly say, hey, can we just meditate in another place, because all this noise around of cars, and I can hear the people training and such, and that's disturbing, my meditation. And then I was like, hey, what's going on here? Okay, so there's an expectation that meditation should be held in an environment that is calm. But really, meditation, for me, what I wanted to teach is you learn to keep yourself calm. You learn to have your mind focused on where you wanted it to be focused, regardless of what's going on. So the expectation actually ruined the meditation for that particular person, right? If they had no expectation, would just enjoy the experience, see what's going on, and whenever the guidance came to focus back on the breath, notice what is already aware, and so forth, they would have the experience of that rest, of that peacefulness. So be very careful of what expectations you have. So saying that, I still notice some expectations. I just started doing a lot of investments. So I do my research the best I can, and I ask also intuitively what would be the best investment for me here. And I love to do investments. I love to see things grow. I put my money in it. I put energy in it, right? And seeing things grow in new technologies, cryptocurrencies, for example, businesses. And then so I do my investment, and suddenly they will fall right after, let's say. I'll be like, oh, that's not good. Like I was expecting it to just rise because I just put my money right there. So to really start to acquire inner peace, the teachings of forgiveness is highly recommended. Learning to accept our differences, but also to accept our similarities without limit. And accepting also in relationships, because many people mistake that with forgiveness. Oh, but I'm with a guy who's hitting me. Well, of course you already accepted that he's hitting you, right? But you can just walk away because you don't want to change the guy. You can't just accept he's a guy who's hitting me. Well, then move away. Go to another place. And if that's not even possible, you have to accept, okay, I have to do what I can here to build up and give what it is I want to see more of. Make that change. So that's forgiveness for you. And when you find inner peace within, when I found inner peace within, I started to be able to give much more compassion. And I'm still expanding also, right? I'm still meeting my unconscious limitation and belief systems about what is, no, that can just not be okay. And I have to, again, bow down to the laws of the spirit and say, okay, if I say that's not okay, well, I'm limiting my ability to give love in that area, to see with holy eyes. And it's just me who suffers from it, not them. So that's why I encourage myself and everyone listening to the podcast here, or to this video here, that giving is having. I encourage you to see that every part of your life. Giving yourself the discipline to do what you love, you have what you love. Giving you the discipline to accept your mistakes. Perhaps I'm not speaking correctly all the time. Well, I can accept that. Just did. Have a good laugh and move on. And then my words, my way of speaking might even become more perfect, because these small mistakes might even encourage everything that is just fitting, and you know how it is. Definitely I know how it is, and I see it more and more in my life. Okay. Is that the last part I have for what I want to talk about here? It's such a great place to be, resting peacefully as life goes by. And you can take activity into whatever you want. You're not afraid anymore. You don't have to make a living, right? You want to make a living because you can do it in the way you want it to. And you get better at it every day. No one is your boss except for upstairs. The love, the compassion, the joy you want to see more of. That's your boss. And how great it is to have a superior or a boss or someone who commands you to allow you to just be who you want to be, right? To experience that joy. You want more joy? You give joy. You want more sadness? Choose sadness. And you're even free and allowed to do so. Right? Sometimes I need to experience the sadness. To really dig deep down, go in, what is really important for me right now? How come I'm not seeing it? I want to see it. I gotta dig deep down. Sadness really slows things down so you can look at it. All emotions are valid. Anger, right? If you don't allow yourself to express anger or feel the anger at least, and notice, hey, I got a misunderstanding here perhaps, right? Why would you be angry of anything if what it is you're giving and what you are is everything? So, hope you liked the video here. If you do so, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more. I'm gonna make 8 more videos, that's about 8, of this kind of intuitive talks about focus, about mind training, about health, about becoming a visionary, all kinds of topics related to how to use the mind, train the mind, and coming from spirit. And each video, I'm going to make it like this, an intuitive talk. You can just listen and go along. And then I'm going to break it down into segments. So the next video of this one here, second video, will be made with slides, visuals that you can look at, short text, and you can easily follow along in that path if that's for you. And then finally, and that might be you, I want to have a dialogue about inner peace, about forgiveness, the topics I just covered here, a dialogue, right? With maybe an expert in the topic, maybe just someone who wants to experience more, maybe even 3 people coming together, 4 people. Have a talk about inner peace, what's going on, how they see it, and we can all learn from each other. Okay? Hope you like it. I'm Brian Jacobson. It's my purpose to train my and your mind to create more of what you want. That goes along with recognizing we are spirit, we have peace when we want it, and we can do more of what we love here in this very moment. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.